It wasn't personal, but Steph made it feel like it was. This wasn't just another Warriors game. This was the game. The one where Steph reminded the NBA that while teammates come and go, legends stay put. Because on a night that felt like the end of an era, Steph made damn sure everyone knew who still runs the Bay. Before we even get into what Steph did on the court, we have to rewind a bit because this game didn't just start with the opening tip. It started with history. It started with heartbeat. And it started with a quiet tension that had been building for months.
For that city, he and Steph couldn't have done it without each other almost. So they couldn't have done it without each other. So the two of them, along with Draymond Green, have put that city as a basketball map.
Klay Thompson spent 13 years in a Warriors jersey. That's 951 games, 4 championships, 6 trips to the finals, and more iconic moments than most players dream of. He was part of the Warriors' identity. Drafted 11th overall back in 2011, Klay quickly turned into one of the most feared shooters the game had ever seen. He averaged 19.6 points, knocked down over 41% of his threes, and never once complained about being the other guy next to Curry. They just made magic together. But then, it ended. Not with some emotional press conference or a proper send-off. No, it ended with Klay getting shipped to Dallas. Just like that, the Splash Brothers were no more. From 2011 to 2024, they built something historic. A backcourt that shattered three-point records, took over All-Star weekends, and delivered titles year after year. And suddenly, it was all over.
Chatter between you and Klay. I mean, did you anticipate it was going to be kind of like that?
For sure. I mean, it's my guy, it's my friend. Road dog for 13 years, so there's a lot of history. You're going to have a lot of back and forth. Some of it was competitive, some of it was fun. And thankfully, we were all able to focus on the game and just hoop and compete. It was an unreal night for sure.
And this game wasn't just another regular season matchup. It was personal. Klay was back in the Bay, not as a Warrior, but as the opponent stepping into Chase Center, wearing enemy colors for the first time. Still, the love didn't disappear, not from the fans at least. The crowd wore Captain Klay hats, staff and security gave him warm welcomes, and the arena played a tribute video that tugged on everyone's emotions. It was a reminder of everything he gave to the franchise. And yet, not everyone was watching that video from the floor. Steph Curry stayed in the tunnel, tucked away from the spotlight. He didn't want the cameras catching his reaction, didn't want to get swept up in the moment. He had a game to win, and more than that, he had a point to prove. See, Klay tried to downplay it before the tip-off, saying it was just another game. Draymond Green thought otherwise. He was going to run through Klay's chest. Forget the nostalgia. This was war. Klay wanted to prove that the Warriors should have done more to keep him, that they let go of a franchise legend too soon. Meanwhile, Steph and Draymond were on a mission of their own, to prove they didn't need anyone to carry them, not even their old running mate. But here's the thing that really turned it up,
Because Steph was,
and that lit the fuse. Steph doesn't get mad often, not publicly and not in a way you can see. But when he does, it shows up in his game through those quiet, cold dagger threes. And when someone like Steph Curry gets locked in, it's about making a statement. And the second the game started, you could feel it. Dallas wasn't hiding the storyline. They wanted Klay to get going early, give him the spotlight, and let him write the first line in the script. And how poetic that his first matchup was Steph, face to face, just like old times in practice. But this was not practice. Steph picked him up immediately, and right out of the gate, Steph fouled him. Klay went to the line, knocked down both free throws.
The way Coach Kidd was talking to us here, early isolation against his Splash Brother teammate.
But Steph wasn't here to reminisce. Seconds later, he went into that classic off-ball movement of his. Draymond caught him curling into space, and Steph fired it over from downtown without any hesitation to announce himself. However, Klay wasn't backing down either. He came right back with not one, but two cold-blooded threes. One of them on the break, pulling up from the corner in transition, and hit Steph's signature shimmy right after it dropped.
Klay knocks in 2 from deep in a row. 3 threes, 6.5 to go, and 11 points in his return.
Steph just stood there shaking his head like he couldn't believe it. Not mad, but just processing the audacity of the moment. And that's when you knew we weren't just watching a game. We were watching two basketball minds play mental chess with flamethrowers. Klay had 11 points early, moving well, letting it fly and showing the Warriors crowd exactly what they let go. He looked sharp, confident, and borderline disrespectful in the best way possible. But the thing is, Steph doesn't respond with words. He responds with his game on the floor. Next possession, Curry was trapped in the paint, defenders collapsing around him, and he didn't force it. With a laser pass, he found a wide-open Kuminga in the corner. That's how Curry punishes you. You can't trap him. And closing out the first half, Steph started on the weak side, looking casual, like he wasn't involved in the play. Then, out of nowhere, he flies across the court, curls around the screen, and Klay's forced to chase. Steph gets the ball in the wing. Klay's there, hands up, hips squared. Curry drives and pull-up floater in the lane, but Klay couldn't stop in time as he runs into Steph's back. Trying to recover, whistle, bucket, and one for Curry.
With the little straight line drive, and then
By halftime, Steph already had 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists, and he wasn't even in full attack mode yet. He was just warming up, moving at his own tempo, letting Klay cook a little, just to make the burn hurt more later. Because on this day, there was no shared spotlight. This wasn't about the Splash Brothers anymore. This was about Steph reminding Klay and everyone else that there's a difference between being a part of greatness and being the reason for it. The second half opened like a movie sequel that knows it has to top the first one. Golden State came out attacking with purpose. Every Dallas miss turned into fast break points, with Melton going full QB and finding Curry with a touchdown pass on the other end. And Steph was letting Klay and his crew know that they couldn't contain him. Next time down, Steph sized up Klay. Klay bit on the hesitation and got spun around like he was skating on melted ice.
Up by Hield. In the corner, they got it right there, driving Wiggins.
But credit to him, he didn't crumble. As moments later, Klay came right back with a deep three right in Curry's face. He buried it with Curry's hand up, then backpedaled like he was the one running the show. Dallas took a 5-point lead, and the Chase Center went quiet for just a second. But that's when Steph decided enough was enough and stopped being polite. First play, he gets doubled up top. Klay tries to help, but then fades off him just for a second. And that was a mistake. Steph plants, rises, and hits a mid-range jumper. You could feel it. Ignition had started, and he was now taking over. The Mavs then switched Doncic to Curry, thinking it's a better matchup. Draymond slips in with a screen, just enough daylight for Curry to rise and launch. The chef was fully in his zone. Then, just to keep the Mavs guessing, Steph rejects the next screen completely, turns the corner, attacks the paint, splits the defense, and throws up a high arcing scoop that kisses off the glass with a lucky bounce. Warriors lead by 1, and Steph is up to 32. At this point, Dallas didn't have answers. They only had hope. 30 seconds left, and the Mavs tried one last switch. Derek Lively got caught on Curry after a high screen, and Steph saw it, knew it. He pulled the ball back, dribbled slow like time was bending around him, then fired from way downtown. And when the ball splashed, he didn't shimmy, didn't scream. He just gave the night-night, knowing the job was done. He had taken Klay's little shimmy from earlier and turned it into fuel. That three was a dagger, and not the kind that ends a game, the kind that ends the debate. Because when it mattered most, Steph didn't just show up. He closed. 12 straight points, all Curry. He did it on jumpers, floaters, deep threes, fast breaks, however he wanted, and he didn't force it or rush it. he just dissected Dallas piece by piece while his old Splash brother watched from the other side, helpless to stop it. They used to say Curry couldn't handle the clutch, that he didn't have that killer instinct late in games, that when the pressure got high, he got quiet. Not anymore, and not on this night. Because on this night, Steph Curry didn't just remind the league who he was. He reminded Klay that you may have been a part of the empire, but I built the throne. And the numbers told the truth. Steph dropped a game-high 37 points, shooting 14 of 27 from the field and knocking down 5 threes. He also racked up 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and about a dozen broken hearts in Dallas jerseys. He controlled the tempo and closed the game. But Klay also held his own with 22 points, 6 threes, and a few vintage moments that made the Chase Center crowd hold their breath. He showed up and made sure the Bay remembered. And when the buzzer sounded, there wasn't any extra drama. Just 2 competitors who built the dynasty, now on opposite sides, taking a second to respect the journey. Because sure, they're rivals now, but that doesn't erase the banners they raised or the memories they made. They're still championship brothers forever. But while Steph and Draymond got the last laugh this time, this is far from over. Klay's not out here on a farewell tour. He's not chasing nostalgia. He's locked in on something else entirely. Winning in Dallas. Ring number 5 is still the mission, especially now that they just scooped Cooper Flagg. And he's serious about it. Golden State will always be home, but the Mavs are his focus now.